Hey gang, how are you? Let's get right to work with Chapter 1, Lesson 10 in our third grade Go Math Volume 1 book. If you would be so kind as to turn to page 61. And there at the top of page 61, we can see that our goal for this lesson, I can use place value to subtract three-digit numbers. And we'll go through some of this lesson stuff and zoom a little bit in here. And then we will take a short detour so that I can show you another strategy, something that might help. And then we can go from there. All right, so use place value to subtract. So we want to subtract 473 minus 284. Now, for this lesson, I am wanting you not to worry about the estimating yet. Let's not worry about that quite yet. And we have 473 minus 294. So what we're going to do first is look here and subtract the ones. Well, we can't take 4 from 3. All right, it's going to put us in the minus. All right, if I owe somebody $4, but I only have $3 in my pocket, I'm not going to have enough to pay somebody back. So I have to borrow from somebody else. And that's where we then say that 7 tens and 3 ones is equal to 6 tens and 13 ones. And that we are able to subtract. 13 minus 4 will give us 9. Now let's go to the next one here. Subtract the tens. And since this 6, and remember we borrowed from here, so now the 7 is a 6. 6 is less than 9, so we need to borrow. All right. And in this situation, 4 hundreds and 6 tens is equal to 3 hundreds and 16 tens. And then all we would do is subtract right there. 16 minus 9 is 7. And then subtract the hundreds. All right, 3 minus 2 is 1. Now, how we can check that is to take the answer that we got right here, 179, and add it to what we subtracted from. And if we add it, we should get the same number that we started with right here. So, heading back up here, which I don't think I read the problem. Ava sold 473 tickets for the school play. Kim sold 294 tickets. How many more tickets did Ava sell than Kim? And so we would subtract that and get 179. And then this is with our estimating, which I said just don't worry about that quite yet. So let me take this example here that we were saying that 7 tens is and 3 ones is equal to 6 tens and 13 ones. Let's go to let's go right here. And as a matter of fact, I can go ahead and change this so that it is 73. And we'll go ahead and add one more into here, and one more right here. Okay, so I have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tens, and 1, 2, 3. All right, and if I'm going to subtract, maybe in this situation right here, and let's go ahead and make this this example right here. We'll just change this number. All right, I can't take 9 from 3. So what I'm going to have to do is borrow. And I'm going to take this and move it over here so that now I have 60 right here, or 6 groups of 10. And right here I have a 10 and 13. Now you add those up, you're going to get 73. All we've done is move a grouping of 10 from here and adding it right there, so that the 7 becomes a 6 and the 3 becomes a 13. And then from here we can subtract, all right, and get the 4. So let's head back to the assignment here and see what else we have. Use place value to subtract. Use addition to check your work. So let me zoom in on this a little bit more. And let's get to work on this one. So I need to take 1 minus 8. Can I do that? No. The top number is smaller than the bottom number. So I need to borrow from my neighbor. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this out. So borrow 10 and then add 10. Now you can add your 1 right here if you want, just knowing that that is 11. Or if you want, you can go ahead and put it above here so that you don't get confused. Either way. And for this example, I'll just go ahead and keep it like that. So, can I take 8 from 11 now? Absolutely. And that's going to give me 3. Now I need to take 5 from 2. Can I do that? No, because the top number is smaller than the bottom one. So I need to borrow from my neighbor. So I'm going to borrow, make that a 5, and I'm going to add it right here. Borrow 1, add 1 is just a good way of thinking about it. Now, can I take 5 from 12? Absolutely. So that is 7. And then finally, can I take 2 from 5? Yes, I can. And that is 3. So now what I'm going to do is take this answer that I already had. Okay, so I had 373. And 258. Now when I add these numbers, hopefully I come up with this top one here, this 631. So there's 8, 9, 10, 11. So 7 plus 5 is 12, plus 1 more is 13. And then 3 and 2 is 5, plus 1 more is 6. 631, 631. That means this answer is correct. All right, let's head to the next page. on the top of page 62. And we're going to do the same thing, estimating. And this one is a unique situation. This is when we have a 0 in this top number. And so, again, let's not worry about estimating quite yet. Just make sure we have this down first. So subtract the ones, regroup. I cannot take 5 from 0, so I need to borrow 1 and add 1. Borrow from my neighbor, add 1 right here. That gives me 5. And then this next step right here that we would do, can I take 6 from 8? Well, that one I can. All right, the top number is bigger than the bottom number, so I don't need to borrow. So that just stays a 2. We subtract normally there. And then 8 minus 7 is going to give us 1, which is what we had right here. So 125 plus the 765, hopefully when we add that up, see 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 8. So the answer we got right here is what we initially started with right up here that we were subtracting. Okay, so 890 minus 765 equals 125. All right, moving along. Circle the problem in which you need to regroup and then find the difference. Which one do we need to regroup? Well, what we're looking for is which one has a situation where the top number is smaller than the bottom number. All right, which one do we need to borrow? Well, right here 4, it's greater than 3, so we would be okay there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to just go ahead and solve all these. All right, 9 minus 8, all right, the 9 is greater than the 8, so I can just go ahead and take the 1 right there. Can I take 5 from 8? Absolutely, and I would get 311. All right, right here, is 1 greater than 1? Well, you know, they're the same. Can I take 1 from 1? Yes, I can. I'm going to get 0. Can I take 0 from 2? Yes, that's going to be 2. And can I take 3 from 5? Yes, I can. That's going to be 2. All right, so let's look here at this last one. Can I take 7 from 8? All right, if I have $8 in my pocket and this person here says, hey, you owe me $7, will I have enough to pay him back? Yes, I will, and I will have $1 left in my pocket. Now, what about here? This person, I've got $1 in my pocket, and this person comes along and says, hey, you owe me $2, but I only have $1 in my pocket. So can I pay him back the full amount? No. So I need to borrow from my neighbor. All right, I am going to borrow 1, which means that number goes down, and then I'm going to add 1. So that now this becomes 11. So now can he get his $2 back? Yes, he can. And I would have $9 left over. And then right here, can I take 4 from 8? Yes, I can. That would be 4. So this one right here, this last one, is the one that they wanted, showing that that's the one you needed to regroup. And you're able to see that because we had to manipulate and do some things here with these numbers up here. All right. Let's go ahead and get the show and share section done. Do not worry about the estimating. We'll just go ahead and get those solved and be back here in a bit whenever you are done. So go ahead and hit pause right now. And when you're done, come on back and we'll see how you did. Okay, so here we are at the show and share portion. And let's see what we've got here. We're not going to worry about the estimating, like I said. We just want to solve these. And we have 627 minus 384. Can I take 4 from 7? Yes, I can. The top number is larger than the bottom number, so that's going to be 3. Can I take 8 from 2? If I have $2 in my pocket and someone says, hey, you owe me $8, would I have enough to pay him back? No, I wouldn't. So I'm going to borrow from my neighbor. All right. Borrow 1, which means it goes 1 less. Add 1, which means the 2 now becomes a 12. And here I can subtract. And then 5 minus 3 gives me 2. So 243 is what I'm going to put right here to double check my work. 243. Let's add those up. 3 plus 4, 7. 8 plus 4 is 12. So I'm going to carry the 1. And 3 plus 2, 5 plus 1 more is 6. So 627 is what I ended up with right up here. All right. Moving along. Estimate, then find the difference. I'm not really needing you to estimate right now. So we won't worry about any of those. I just want to make sure that you have the computation down first. So in every one of these, I'm going to ask, do I need to borrow? All right. 6 minus 3. The top number, 6, is larger than the bottom number, 3. So I do not need to borrow. 8 minus 2. And 3 minus 1 gives me 2. 519 minus 205. Let's see, 9 minus 5. Can I take 5 from 9? Yes, because the top number is larger, it's greater than the bottom number, 5. So that becomes a 4. Can I take 0 from 1? Well, yeah, 1 minus 0 is 1. And then 5 minus 2 is 3. 456 minus 217. Can I take 7 from 6? No. The number up here, the top number, is smaller than the bottom number. So I need to borrow from my neighbor. So I'm going to borrow 1 and then add 1 so that now we have 16. And that gives me 9. Can I take 1 from 4? Yes, I can. 4 minus 1 is 3. And 4 minus 2 is 2. And let's see here. Oh, this one looks like it's going to be fun. 642 minus 159. Can I take 9 from 2? No, I can't. The top number is smaller than the bottom number, so I need to borrow. So borrow 1, add 1. So now 12 minus 9 is 3. Now, can I take 5 from 3? No, the 3 is smaller than the 5, so I need to borrow from my neighbor. I'm going to borrow 1 and then add 1. So now I've got 13 minus 5. That gives me 8. And then 5 minus 1 is 4. That was a tough one. And your clue that it's a tough one is anytime you see these circle with check marks, those are tricky ones. Same one here for number 6. 242 minus 220. All right, 2 minus 0 is 2. And 4 minus 2 is 2. And then 2 minus 2 is 0. Now some of us might need to put that placeholder there, a 022, just so that you know you've completed it. But if you want to just have the answer as 22, that would be fine. All right, 7. And there's a lot going on with this one. 870 minus 492. The top number, 0, is smaller than the bottom number, 2. So I need to borrow 1, add 1. Borrow from my neighbor. So 7 becomes 1 less, that's 6. And then add 1 right here. So now 10 minus 2 is 8. And then can I take 9 from 6? No, because the top number is smaller than the bottom number. So once again, I need to borrow from my neighbor. 8 becomes 1 less, and then add 1 here. So now I've got 16 minus 9, which gives me 7. And then 7 minus 4 is 3. All right. 4 minus 3, that's 1. I know that I do not need to borrow because the top number is larger than the bottom number. 5 minus 6. Now I've got a problem. This top number is smaller than the bottom, so I need to borrow from my neighbor. Borrow 1, so it's 1 less. Add 1 right there. 15 minus 6 is 9. And then 5 minus 2 is 3. And finally, 937 minus 618. All right, top number, smaller than the bottom number. So I need to borrow from my neighbor. Borrow 1, so it becomes 1 less. Add 1. So 17 minus 8 is 9. 2 minus 1 is 1. And 9 minus 6 is 3. 319. So that should do it. You are on your own now for this activity. And check with the web page or check with what's written on the board for your homework assignment tonight. I know you'll do great, but if you run into any questions, don't be afraid to ask.